Only the baddest ones got to do it too.
Right.
You know?
Right. Our slaves, concubines, gonna serve us. It's gonna be a beautiful thing in them days, man, because we're gonna go back to glory.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, because again, we always say that the kingdom of heaven, first it's a kingdom, right?
Right.
It's not a corporation, right? It's not like America where you have democracy. A kingdom comes with dictatorship, okay? Let's let that man
That's what I was trying. That's the word I was thinking of. I was like, this ain't a democracy, but I'm trying to think of
Right. Now, well, because the thing is that one thing that our people need to understand, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans,
What's that?
is that now, although a lot of our people, especially the head tribes, right, the Southern Kingdom, we call ourselves kings and queens, right? But at the same time, we believe in the democratic process in the United States of America. We believe in voting. All right, we believe in voting for presidents and stuff like that. When you're talking about kingdom, kings go back to what? They go back to inheritance, a lineage. You don't vote for your king to rise up on power. You don't do that. The king has to come from what? From the lineage, the royal line. Okay, so that's what it is. So we are a royal people, and we're gonna be kings because we come from a royal line. We're not gonna be kings because we got elected to be kings. All right? It's not going to be a process where we voting and stuff and be like, well, who's going to be the king? No, it's not going to happen. Yeah. So it's going to be straight up dictatorship, and it's going to start with that man right there, Yahweh Shai. All right? Let me get that. Let me get Revelation 19. It says, and it goes into he had many. What's that? 19. He had many crowns upon his head. Start a little bit above, you know, so we can get all that meat, man. Because the Lord is coming back. He's not coming back and saying, hey, Edomites, hey, so-called white people, hey, so-called Asians and Moabites, I'm here, I'm the leader of the Israelites, and I want to vote. You know what I'm saying? I want an election. Let's get an earthly ballot, right? Let's get the whole earth to vote and see if I can be the king of the planet. He's not doing that, okay? You got it? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I started at 10.
Yeah, get that good meat. Right?
Yeah, he's gonna take it by force.
It's Revelation 19 and 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him.
Right.
And he said unto me, see thou do it not.
Right.
I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren, that hath the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship the Most High Yahweh.
Right.
For the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy.
Right. Basically, if you testifying, you know what testifying means, right? You've been in court. So if you testifying, and you testifying of that man and saying to the world of Israel that that man is our king, king of kings, our savior and deliverer, you got to come in his spirit. It can't be because of what you say and how you feel. It's got to be according to what? To the word and what the word says. So keep going.
And I saw heaven open, and behold a white horse.
Right, now when he says, because remember this is John the Revelator, and this is a revelation. When he says I saw heaven open, so he in the island, and then what he sees, he gets into a trance, and then the angel speaks to him, and then what he sees, he actually gets sent to our age and season. Remember, this is about more than 2,000 years ago. But what he was able to see, the Lord was able to. It's kind of like, you see how we living right here. And it's kind of like two of your eyes being set up right here in the skies, and you can see everything that's going on. But you're not in this season. You have a different age, but your eyes are able to see what's gonna happen or what's happening 2,000 years down the road. So what he's seeing now, he's seeing the heavens open, and then he sees a white horse. Now, what is that white horse? It's not talking about a physical white horse. The white horse right there that's talking about, you gotta come on, Cherry. The white horse is talking about an engine, the spiritual engines that the angels, right, actually use, and those engines is gonna be the engines of our salvation. This is the white horse. All right, but the United States government and all these governments in the world, they've deemed it and named it UFOs. There's no such thing as UFOs. Those are IFOs, all right? Meaning these engines are identified, and these are called the chariots of Israel. Let me get that in Psalms. What's that? Psalm 67. What's that? 67 and is it 67 and 19? I think it's Psalm 67, 19. But yeah, keep reading on that. All right.
Revelation 19 and 11, and I saw heaven open, and behold a white horse. Right. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. Right. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
Right, now basically the white horse is kind of, remember the movie, we always go back to that. Remember the movie Independence Day, right? Right, Independence Day, that massive so-called UFO that showed up. And then all of a sudden, everybody got scared, especially the second one. Did you watch the second one, Independence Day, the second one? When that massive chariot showed up, remember what happened? It was like a huge anti-gravitational pull, and then everything else started what? Getting sucked into the gravity. Right, and then they dropped. That's the same thing. So why they were showing you that that's how the Lord is coming back. You're gonna have multiple chariots, but the white horse is talking about that power, because a horse represents power. Remember, these are metaphors, right? So the white horse is that massive chariot, and it says he that sat on it, why? Because he's actually gonna stand. He's gonna stand on top of that chariot, and everybody gonna see that he's gonna stand on top of the chariot, and he's gonna call out for his elect. You going?
Verse 12, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but himself.
Yeah, go ahead.
Psalm 67 and 17.
Go ahead.
The chariots of Yahweh are 20,000.
Right, the chariots, all right, that's the white horse, or the white horses, but the white horse is talking about a main massive chariot. Ezra said that he seen a mountain so big, and he saw the mountain was built without hands. Meaning he looked at the mountain, he wanted to see where that mountain was actually came from. And he didn't see any, meaning he saw space between the earth and that huge mountain. That means that what? It was not an actual mountain. It was a chariot, but that's how massive that chariot was. All right? Read that scripture again?
Yeah. Psalm 67 and 17, the chariots of Yahweh are 20,000,
right?
Even thousands of angels.
Right.
The Lord Yahweh is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place.
That's right, and the Lord right there really, you know, when you transfer that understanding to what we're going into, is really talking about Yahweh Shah. Because the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, is not physically amongst the angels as, you know, we being delivered. But he's here in spirit through his son. The Heavenly Father, Yahweh, is sending his son to deliver us. Okay? Keep going on that.
Kanye, verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns.
Well, it says his eyes were as a flame of fire. Let's get the, there you go. Read that again.
His eyes, Revelation 19 verse 12,
right.
His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns.
Right, so Yahweh Shah, one of the traits that he had red eyes, because he also drank a lot of wine, it tells you. Now, if you know anything about us, you know, so-called Negro, Spanish, Native Americans, when we drink wine, you know, the white of our eyes turn red. A lot of us, it happens. You should see my father when he drinks wine, it's crazy. It's just like red and black, you know what I'm saying? So that's a trait. That's an Israelite trait, okay? Especially the Lord has that. Go ahead.
And on his head were many crowns.
Now read this with you again.
Revelation 19 verse 12.
Right.
His eyes were as a flame of fire.
Right.
And on his head were many crowns.
Right, and on his head was many crowns. What is that talking about? What are the many crowns upon his head? Nah, read that again.
Revelation 19 and 12, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. He had a name written that no man knew,
right.
But
now when it says that upon his head were many crowns, it's not talking about his actual head. The crowns is talking about rulerships. It's talking about nations and kingdoms that he's gonna, because remember, what did I say earlier before we started going into scriptures? What did I say? I said the man is now coming down to do what? To ask for what? A massive election. Remember that? Remember I said that? He's not going to ask for a massive election where we're going to have a huge ballot and everybody's going to vote for the man and see if the man is, you know, to be the king. What he's going to do, he's going to take over this earth by force. So what? If you're going to take over the earth by force, that means you got to take over all these kingdoms that's already set up right now. First kingdom that's got to go is the United States of America. America's got to go. So he's going to take down America how? Thermonuclear missiles ultimately. Now all these other nations, Germany got to go. You can't have the Lord ruling in Germany out here ruling. Germany, France, Italy, England, all these kingdoms have to fall. Russia, all these kingdoms have to fall. That's what it means by the upon his head, because if you go back to the ancient movies, when a king took down another king, what happened? What did he do? Right, but what is that an actual act that you would see that a king would do once he's taken over another man's kingdom? He would literally go to his throne and cut off his head and grab his crown and put it on top of his head.
Cut off his hand, take his ring or something.
Right, or cut off his head. You know, get whatever. He'll get whatever it is, a scepter. Right, he'll behead the man. He'll actually remove the crown from the man and put it on his head. Say, I'm the new king now. So that's what it is. So the Lord is having many crowns, meaning what? He's going to take down these nations. Now, let me get that in Daniel, 2nd chapter.
Daniel chapter 2, verse 42.
Go ahead.
And as the toes of the feet were part of iron.
Let me get the statue. Daniel's statue. Come on.
And the mark of the beast. I mean, that's the mark.
Got it? BS what you get.
Daniel?
Yeah. Hey, brother, get up.
You got Daniel?
Yeah, I got that.
So everything.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Daniel chapter 2, verse 42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron,
Right.
and part of clay,
Right.
so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
Right now, that goes back to Daniel's vision on the 2nd chapter. Now, Daniel, of course, you know, during the time of the captivity of the Babylonian captivity with Nebuchadnezzar, right? The king had a vision. And he pretty much wanted to know what the vision was. And all the magicians and wizards around that time, they couldn't tell what the vision was. But Daniel could. Why? Because Daniel was a man of the Lord. All right? So Daniel pretty much went, prayed, fasted, and then he was given, the angel came down, the angel gave him the understanding of the vision. Now, we jump all the way down from the Medo-Persian Empire, the Greeks, the Romans, down to where we at now. This is where we at now, the iron and the clay. Now, so read us what you get.
God, this is Daniel 2 and 42.
Yeah, put that up.
It says, and as the toes of the feet were it says, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron,
Right.
and part of clay.
Right, part of iron, part of clay. The 10 toes is talking about the 10 horns, going back to the book of Revelation. It's talking about the European nations, the EU. Okay, when you count these nations, now, right now on paper, they're about 28. Why? Because they're trying to be a little slick about it. But when you go back to the ancient map, you will see that 2 different European nations now really go back to be one land. Okay? But the 10 toes right there, they're talking about the EU, in particular the EU. Now, those nations are what? Those are the nations that rule the earth. The EU rules the earth right along with America. That's right. So those are the kings with crowns. But the Lord cannot rule. Yahweh Shah cannot be the king as long as these people are still ruling on the earth. You can't have Yahweh Shah as the king and then you have America. You know why? Because Yahweh Shah's, mentality through the spirit, his words go against everything that America stands for and believes. You can't, the Lord believes that what? Homosexuals have to be put to death. America says no, homosexuals need to be praised and they need to have parades and they need to be loved. Adulterers got to be put to death. America says no, adultery is cheating. Move on, dude. It's okay. You see that? So you can't have those 2 kingdoms. Yeah. So they have to be taken down. And so that's who the 10 toes are. Part iron, part clay. Why? Because when you look at the EU's economy right now, you have nations such as France, Spain. Their economy, they are indebted to the max. That's why if you watch the news, there's all kinds of riots going on in France, right? If you've been keeping up, you don't want to go to Paris right now. They're rioting every fucking day, man. It's called the yellow vest movement. You got the blue vest movement. They're rioting. Why? Because of the economy. Spain, same thing. They got massive debts in Italy. So those places represents the clay. Then the iron is places such as Germany. Germany's economy is pretty strong. All right, it's been strong for a minute. That's what an iron means. Irons mean strength economically. Clay goes back to abatya, meaning debt. So that's how you know we're living in them times. So that iron and clay is talking about the EU, the European Union. So now go back to that scripture.
Come. This is Daniel 2:42.
Right.
It says, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron
Right.
and part of clay,
Right.
so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
Right. Daniel is speaking of the EU, the European Union. He's saying the European Union shall be partly strong and partly weak. And that's exactly what's going on. If you watching the news, which you're supposed to, okay? That's on that. No, keep going, keep going.
God, verse 43. It says, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with marry clay, it shall mingle themselves with the seed of men.
Right. Why? Because what it is that you have the children or the seeds of the wicked. Now, according to the scriptures, there's three kinds of men. You have the sons of the wicked, which that's the so-called white man, the Edomites. You have the sons of men, those are the heathens. And then you have the sons of God, those are the Israelites. You see that? So what's happening is that now the EU is mostly ran by whom? By the sons of the wicked, the seeds of the wicked. But they've mingled themselves with the seeds of men, with the heathens. That's why you have heathen nations that are part of that. They make deals with them. When they go to the these meetings, G20s, all right? You will see heathens making deals with the Edomites. It tells you that in Psalms 83, that the Edomites have made, well actually get that, right quick, Psalms 83. We need to understand what it means by mingling themselves with the seeds of men. It's Esau trying to make business deals and trying to bring the nations, the heathens, to do deals with them, but it's not working. Why? Because Esau's economy, the so-called white man, his economy is built on debt. And you cannot run a successful economy built on debt. You just can't do it. All right, you got it? Go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, in verse 1. It says, keep not thou silence, O God,
Right.
hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power.
Right.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Right, the enemies of the Lord, which are the enemies of David. David is saying what? Hey, they put on a tumult that's an agreement, meaning they get together and start plotting against you. That's what it is. So you have nations of people that actually sit together and plot against Israelites, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But how does it work? They plot and they come up with policies. They come up with policies that will hurt your people or put your people at a disadvantage, socially, economically. You see that? That's how you destroy nations today, especially the way we're being destroyed, but through policies, okay? Which policies goes back to your laws, okay? You set up laws that destroy people. Keep going.
Yep. It says, and they that hate thee lift up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
Right.
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
There you go. Go ahead.
It says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Right, basically, when you have a lot of these meetings, when they say G20 this and G7 and all that, a lot of these meetings, it's all about, now what they have, the official report, it sounds economical, right? But the underline of these meetings, especially when you go back to the Rothschilds, you know about the Rothschilds and the Rockefeller, the elites, when they have Bilderberg meetings, the Council of Foreign Relations, the CFR, their whole thing is like this. This is the year 2019. What laws can we pass to continue to subjugate the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans? What laws and policies? The entertainment. How do we invest more in the entertainment to keep these people from knowing who they are? Keep these people in this mindset. Keep them calling themselves Negroes, West Indians, Hispanics, Native Americans. They put money in entertainment and all kinds of stuff to keep you distracted from your true nationality. That's what it means. Let's come together and figure out a way to cut these people from being a nation.
Also through like technology. Controlling food.
That's right.
Because another part of the goal is not just legislation, but one way you control people is to control their food source.
The diet.
You know.
The diet as well.
You know,
right.
all these EU nations, they spray chemicals over. They spray chemicals over. You see how you see chemtrails here? There's chemtrails over other countries too.
That's right. And they spike the water in certain areas, certain areas of minority that spike the water with fluoride. If you know anything about fluoride, it slows your mental processing. You know, and it kind of it makes you passive as well. That's the reason why we keep getting our asses handed to us, and you don't see no aggression. Why? Because a lot of this food that we eat, the water that we drink, it's spiked. It softens you up. It makes you passive. A lot of dudes come out faggots and all that. It's all a plot. That's what. You see that? Soybeans, all this stuff. Right. It's why? Because it's to weaken you. So that's what the nations are doing. They actually meet up to make sure that you stay in that situation, in that mental state, that spiritual state. Right?
Yep. Continuing on, it says, verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
There you go. So as long as you out here calling yourself, oh, I'm a real nigga, oh, I'm a Latino, and I'm a Native American and all that, they're winning.
Yeah.
As long as you keep these names, these proverbs and bywords, they're winning. But once you start saying, oh, no, I'm from the tribe of Judah, oh, I'm from the tribe of Benjamin, Ephraim, they're like, whoa, immediately it's like light bulbs. The elites is thinking, no, these people are coming back. That's not good. The Israelites are coming back. That's not good. You know why? Because they know the history. They know what happens when we set up an order with our power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. They know it's the end of it. So they don't want that to happen, obviously. Right? Go ahead.
Real quick for you. Daniel chapter 8, verse 25, it says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many.
Oh, read that again.
Daniel 8 and 25.
Yo, listen to this.
It says, and through his policy.
Through his policy. You know about the word policy, right? Policies, laws. Go ahead.
Also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many.
By peace shall he destroy many. This devil right here, when he came to our brother, the natives, Gadites and Reubenites, he was preaching peace. But the whole time he had a huge knife in his back, and he stabbed them real good. Now, same thing, every time he comes in, when I say he, I'm talking about the Edomites, the devil that the Bible speaks of, the so-called white man, Caucasian man, European man. When he comes at you, he never comes at you straightforward. He always comes at you with a smile, right? Let's make a deal. I want a gift, right? Oh, I want to help you and I want to help your family. And then he said, you know what? We got a meeting over there in a particular, let's meet up somewhere to finalize the deal, right? And I'm going to give you this, and you're going to take care of your family, and you're going to give me that, and we're going to be good. Now, you show up for the meeting, and he goes behind your back and kills your wife, your children, your auntie, your whole family. That's what he does. And then he shakes your hand at the meeting place, right? Now when you go back home, everybody's dead. That's what it is. And who's the devil according to the scriptures? The Edomites, the so-called white man. That's the devil that the Bible speaks of.
This is the end of the verse. It says, by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
That's right. So he
matches with 2nd Esdras 13, where it says the chariot that he saw, he neither lifted up nor finger or anything, you know, but fire just issued out of his mouth.
That's right. Because Esau is going to stand up. He's going to rise up. He's going to rise up against the prince of princes, talking about Yahushua, the King of Kings. All right? So he's going to rise up against him, but he's going to be destroyed. He's going to be annihilated, man. Because remember, the holy war that's coming, right? The holy war that's going to happen after the Third World War, that's not really going to be a war. It's going to be an annihilation. Because if you're fighting with somebody and they can't touch you, that's not a fight. You brothers know that. Yep. That's an annihilation. And that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to have zero casualties on our hand. Zero casualties, man. So you can't really call that a war. The angels ain't gonna get bruised up. We ain't gonna get bruised up. Brothers ain't gonna need to be healed after this major war.
That's why the scripture says, when the littlest one shall be like David, because when David used to go out to fight in the wars, all the men would come back.
That's right.
You know, when we won our battles, nobody died.
That's right.
We would slaughter hundreds of thousands of people.
That's right, because the Lord was with us. And we have faith that the Lord is back with us again. All right? Now, let me get Hosea 5:15, and then we get back to...
Because usually when you read about the war stories, in the history, in the books, in the scriptures, it'll tell you this day of Israel, this many people died.
Yeah.
You know, but you don't see that a lot. You know, unless the king was wicked.
Yeah, because sometimes when the king was going off, because the scripture tells you, as the king is, so is the people. So when the king was going off, the people was going off. And like I said, some Israelites went to war and they died because that was also their judgment. The scripture tells you no man dies being innocent. So you don't know what a man does in his personal life. So if he went out, let's say he might have committed adultery, but he's part of the warriors that go to war. What you think is going to happen to him when he goes to war? He's going to die. Right, it's judgment. Right. Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 5 and verse 15.
All right.
I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offenses and seek my face, and their affliction they will seek me early.
That's right. So the Heavenly Father said, listen, I'm going to remove myself from the nation of Israel until they acknowledge their offense, man, their sins and their transgressions. And but he said, I know if I don't do nothing, they won't acknowledge their offense. So therefore the Lord would allow affliction to happen to the nation of Israel. So it's through affliction, trials and tribulations, slavery, that now we acknowledging our offense. We're like, all right, yeah, we messed up. We'll apologize, we're sorry, forgive us, Lord, in the name of Mashiach Yahushua. So now the Lord is with us now. And when the Heavenly Father Yahweh is at peace with Israel through his son Yahushua, can't nobody touch us, man. And that's something that we know, and that's something that's going to be made manifest out here in these streets, man, when all hell breaks loose. Okay? The power of the Lord is coming soon, man. You're going to see brothers here with the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua in these streets, man. All right? Make miracles happen, man. That's going to happen. You're talking about brothers are going to revive people that everybody knew that were dead, man. Put the spirit back on them, man. It tells you that in the scriptures. That all the miracles that Yahushua did, we're going to do even bigger, man. And he's the one who said that. And we believe in that power, man. Go ahead.
That's right.
Yeah, that's something that you got to precept on.
This is Psalm 91 and 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His trust shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night.
Oh, can you read Can you read that again, that part?
Psalm 91 and 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His trust shall be thy shield and buckler.
Right, so what's going to protect you? Just trusting. That's heavy, man. Just off the strength of you just trusting. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to fight. That's what's going to protect you. That's going to be your shield and your buckler.
Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee.
Speak on that, brother.
No, that's what Zaquan was saying earlier. That 10,000 is going to flee, 10,000 is going to fall at your side. 10,000 on your other side. None of these pestilence and the wiles of the devil, this trickery, all these things can't come against the men of the Lord. We are under the wing. We are under the protection of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. This is what we believe. Regardless of what they say. What is that new one? 119. What is that? 119 ministries. He's saying we're not Israelites. Y'all must be crazy. He said we're not Israelites. He said that we offered ourselves to slavery and no one bought us. What the you ever? Hello, I'm for sale. Come find me. You ever heard somebody say that? That is ridiculous, man. You see, but this is the trickeries of the devil. Where they going to persuade some? Because you got that boy, what's his name? Jay, the producer, whatever his name is. He already on his side. You're right, you're right. This is how. So soon he just came out. But you already took the side of the so-called white man.
That's Juicy J, the producer.
Juicy J, the producer.
Hey, he's on that Babylon juice.
Crazy.
He's on that Babylon juice. That's good on him, though. Hey, right quick, let me get off Matthew's Matthew 11 and 25. That's good. Hey man, listen, it's a blessing that a lot of you niggas out here are getting the wrong doctrine. It's a blessing a lot of you wicked niggas are getting the wrong doctrine, man. It's a true blessing. Why? Because you're the same souls that deny the Lord on the cross.
Right.
So why the hell would I be out here wanting you to get the doctrine, man?
Right.
You're not supposed to get this doctrine, man. Are you supposed to believe in those strong delusions? And may Yahweh shall destroy you wicked Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans that come up with these adverse doctrines, man. That's
right.
Okay? And that's what it is. That's all we got to say about you.
It says the scripture say, though hand join hand, the wicked should not go unpunished. So those who are joined under them, that's on that train, is on that Edomite trickery train, you're gonna be destroyed with them. Your train is gonna fall off the track, man, and you're gonna get destroyed, man. You know, you denied who the Lord made you to be.
This is St. Matthew's 11 and 25. It says, at that time Yahweh answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and the prudent.
All these men, these pastors, these bishops in the world, and this Christianity nonsense, they're known as being wise. They're known as being the sages of this world. But the Lord has hidden this knowledge from these people. Go ahead.
And has revealed them unto babes.
But has revealed them unto babes. And it's talking about us, man. Beginning with our apostles and elders, which are our masters, our teachers in this truth, man. So those are the ones that receive this gospel. But these wise men of the world, they haven't received the gospel, and we praise the Lord for that.
That's right.
Okay? Because we know that beef goes all the way back to them telling the Lord, let his blood be upon us and our children, man.
That's right.
That's what they said.
Right.
So they got to pay up for that, man. Now let's go back to Daniel.
God, this is Daniel 2, verse 43. It says, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with merry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men.
Right, so now we know. Now let's go back to Psalms, because we had Psalms 83. But we need to understand what it means. They shall mingle themselves with the seeds of men. They is talking about the Edomites. The seeds of men is who? Keep going.
Yep. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83.
Right.
In verse 5, it says, for they have consulted together with one consent.
Right.
They are confederate against thee.
Right.
It says the tabernacles of Edom.
So Edom, which those are the ones who rule and control the EU, the 10 horns, right? That's what, like the bus, that's what it says Edom. Then who's next?
It says, and the
Ishmaelite, seeds of men, go ahead.
of Moab,
Seeds of men.
and the Hagarene.
And the Hagarenes, Hamite seeds of men. So Esau has made deals and mingled himself with his economy, his democracy, right? His philosophy with the seeds of men. But what does it say? That's it on that, brother. What?
God. It says, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
There you go. So they're not going to cleave, meaning they're not going to come to a whole consensus and work together step by step. That's why you see now, what do you see? You see all these nations that are bucking up against the democracy. All these nations that are bucking up against the philosophy of America. Man, look at